whose investment, he says, is important to the development of the territory, pointing out that with such an enormous quarry, the cost of construction ought not to be very expensive, particularly in the nation's capital.
It's a factory in FCT, and the market director to see the factory, which is the biggest very West Africa. And I've not been here before, but I think I'm taking the opportunity to look at the environment and see what they are doing. That shows that the cost of construction ought not to be very expensive, particularly in the FCT. Apart from the equipment that are imported that are used for this the raw material is available here. And I wonder why contractors will be talking about the cost of aggregate as if these are imported. They are not imported, they are made here. So I really want to encourage the company. It's considered amazing that we have this type of manufacturing going on here in Abuja. For what you said, they have over 800 persons who are working hard here. This is the same company that is trying to carry out the industrial park at Itu, and which we are going to give them all the necessary support. As a president, I've sent out the letter to the Minister of Finance to just on the tax credit to enable them carry out the other one-way carriage to make it enough with the carriage which is being done by Saturday Consortium Company.
The minister commended the private firm for employing more than 800 persons as workers in the industry, promising to give all the necessary support. He says the only problem is environmental impact assessment, but the managing director of the company has explained that it is up to standard and that there is no cause for alarm.
I will not lie to you, I'm really encouraged what I'm seeing. I'm really encouraged. My only comment is the environmental impact assessment, which is said they are up to standard, they have no problems. It's my problem. I'm very impressed.
Nta Channel was also taken around the facility to see things for himself and have a feel of economic fortunes that abound in the nation's capital. In another development, the FCT minister has honored the former FCT Commissioner of Police, Benneth Igwe, and Director of the Department of State Security Service, Adomuazu, for improving the security architecture, thereby reducing crime and criminality in the FCT during their stint in office. It was during the send-forth ceremony put together by the FCT minister, Nta Channel, in their honor at his official residence at Life Camp. The outgoing FCT Commissioner, a new Assistant Inspector General in charge of Zone 7, and now the Assistant Director General of DSS at DSS headquarters, were described as two fine officers who have worked relentlessly in combating crime and criminality in the nation's capital. Encomiums were poured on them.
Working as Commander Gas Brigade gave me an exposure to the workings of security architecture of a place like FCT. When most of us assumed command, the security situation in the FCT was quite challenging, and deliberate steps needed to be taken to correct the situation. Good enough for us, we had a minister that was very dedicated and committed to see immediate changes to the security situation in the FCT. And to actualize this, all of us had to come on board. Shortly afterwards, the CP also joined the team. And I'm able to say that with the presence of the CP and the DSS FCT director, we had very seamless working conditions, such that we're able to achieve a lot within a very short time. I want to believe that this can be attested to by the people living in the FCT. It took a lot of effort, but we're more bold today to say that things are taking a very positive turn. We are not here to glamorize ourselves or to take glory, but to dedicate ourselves to the security of FCT and its environs. I also want to urge the outgoing CP and the DSS director to always know that with us they have a place, they have a home, and good a thing they are both deployed or redeployed within Abuja here, so they are just a stone throw away. There will be instances that will still require their inputs. They should please not look away from us. We'll still go back to them one time or the other to request that they grant us maybe some audience or guidance as we continue to discharge our responsibilities to secure the FCT. Once again, I want to say thank you to the two gentlemen, and most importantly, I want to say thank you to the FCT minister who has given us the conducive working environment and the support that we need. He's always with us day and night to ensure that everything we require to function well is at our disposal. Thank you very much. And for our guests this evening, I want to say thank you for honoring us with your presence, and I will say bon appetit.
Firstly, what Your Excellency has done this evening is renewing the hope of all of us public servants that when you distinguish yourself in your career, there is always that room for recognition. And recognition itself is a moral booster. So we believe that with what His Excellency is doing this evening, the rest of us are upbeat. And we also want to assure the Honorable Minister that we will do our best to be recognized like this when it is time for us to part. I want to use this opportunity to really appreciate our working relationship with the two very fine gentlemen that are just stepping aside in the FCT, their duty post. I had cause to work with AIG Bennett Igwe right from when he was in charge of a special operation that is the anti-robbery squad. I knew very well what he went through because I served then as secretary of the ministerial task force on city cleaning. So I can attest to his pedigree, I can attest to his professionalism, I can attest to everything that is more of an embodiment of a fine officer. He has done so well. So also, Mr. Mwazu has been a very wonderful and fine officer. The outgoing director, now ADG SSS. Very, very humble and amiable, but very firm when it comes to doing his job. I've had cause to relate with him at close quarters, and I've seen him take very decisive decisions that I would never have believed at that point in time. I want to really appreciate the minister for having identified these very fine officers, building them into a very formidable team to be able to address the multifarious security situations we met on ground as at the time His Excellency came into power. FCT residents can testify to the fact that there was a near loss of hope. But with what the minister, the machinery the minister put in place, coordinated by this gentleman, I think we can now sleep with our two eyes closed. I want to sincerely thank the Honorable Minister for this leadership role, and to thank these two gentlemen. Like the last speaker said, thank God they are not far away from us. We still have the ability and we still have the privilege of tapping into their wealth of experience and advice whenever the need arises. I want to say that God will guide them through in their new positions and grant them the enabling wisdom, the knowledge, the tact to continue to discharge their responsibilities creditably.
The FCT Minister Nyesom Wike says the priceless services rendered during their stint as heads of the two security outfits in the FCT calls for celebration. He urges them to keep the momentum high in protecting lives and property in their new assignment.
I've always said that people who are committed, people who make sacrifice, that I don't believe it's only when you die people will honor you, people will reward you. While you are alive and you have worked, you should remember it. And that is why we said these two gentlemen who have worked with us to make all of us sleep well with our two eyes closed. It's important. We honor them. We thank them for their services. I'm not one of those who like to praise people. But when you see the reality, that somebody is committed to his work, that somebody is willing to service his nation. When I came as a minister, and before my CP left, there were a lot of lobbying who will be Commissioner of Police. So much. And I thank the Inspector General of Police for his wisdom, for deeming it necessary that we bring a Commissioner of Police that is rugged, that knows the terrain of the area. All of us can attest to the fact that AIG Igwe is a committed police officer who is out to fight criminality and criminals. And we thank God Almighty that in doing this, God saved his life. God has kept him alive. And that is why he announced here today that he came with his wife and his children. There are those of them who, in course of this war, they die. And that's the end of you. He would have announced today that I came with my wife, I came with my children. So thank God Almighty for keeping him alive, to be able to be promoted to AIG, and to come here today with his family for this recognition. The Assistant Director was very quiet, but very committed. I thank God, and I thank the new DG of the State Security Services for seeing him, finding him worthy to be promoted and for him to work at the national level. Two of them have not left yesterday. In fact, when I heard about his promotion, I wanted to go and I said to the IG, why are you removing this man when we are fighting insecurity? IG told me, don't worry, he will still be of assistance. I still need him. But how will it be that you want to stop somebody's promotion? So it is IG. I have no role to post where he should be. It's IG that knows where to serve and where not to serve. So thank IG for identifying your qualities and keeping you in zone 7. So as I would say to Mwaso, thank the DG for identifying your qualities and also bringing you national headquarters. So I can be of immense help to him and to us. So I thank you. And this also, like the other service said, the moment you do well, people will recognize you. People will thank you. Everything must not be money. This recognition, money cannot buy it. And this is what everybody pray for, that their services are. But I want to thank other security agencies, the Major General, the Brigades of Guard, or the Air Force, all of you, that this war wouldn't have been easy, but for your cooperative, collaborative efforts in making sure that FCT is safe. I know what happened in this last so-called bad governance. I know the role you play. Sleepless nights sometimes. I will go for Security Council meeting, 6 p.m., sometimes 8 p.m. You worked relentlessly to keep FCT safe. I know, as the minister, the security reports I get every day. If Nigerians, if FCT people know what you have put in place, the efforts you make to combat crime. You know what Nigerians are just, when one crime happens somewhere, they forget all the other wars you have been able to stop. Nobody wants to say you have done well. Just that something has happened in Life Camp now. They will say, oh, FCT is not safe. But all the things you have been doing, every day I get the security report, I get the criminals, look at the kind of ammunition, guns they carry. And you arrest them, but you don't go on television except when it is necessary to begin to say this and that. So Nigerians should know that you are doing a lot. It's not easy. There's no country in this world where you say there's no crime. There's no country, not one. Even the most developed, every second, every minute, every hour, every day, one crime or the other is So I thank you. And on behalf of FCT, you've done well. We must say thank you. And this place you are going, please continue with that spirit of serving your fatherland. Continue with that spirit that you must support this government in order to protect property, in order to protect our citizens. So I want to commend you, I want to thank you. I will call the representative of the honor of Abuja to come to support, to give out whatever we have to these brothers who have contributed to securing life and property in FCT.
AIG Igwe expresses appreciation for the support from the minister and pledges to continue to protect lives and property of the citizenry without fear or favor.
Both of us came to see the minister when I assumed office. He gave us a marching instruction. I want the crime in FCT to go down, and I will mix it with what I can do. If I ask all of you to start clapping for the minister, you will not understand why. As he gave the instruction, he supported us without fear or favor. He supported us with the work. And that is why when my people call me and said, why are you always in the bush on patrol in the night? I said, because the minister is equally on patrol in the night. The minister, you see, is equally on patrol in the night. You may not understand, that's the truth. For those who know him, sometimes we crisscross each other. And when you are working with such a person, you should know, I'm a Christian. If you go to Psalm 121 verse 4, the Bible told me that he who keepeth Israel neither sleeps nor slumber. So I regard Abuja as my Israel, because the minister equally regarded Abuja as his Israel. Because he who keepeth Abuja will neither sleep nor slumber. If you sleep, the kidnappers will enter. If you slumber, before you wake up, the bandits will take over. That is Abuja for you. So we neither sleep nor slumber up to today that I'm standing here, including himself. Me and the Ado and the Commander Gas Brigade and our other brothers in the Security Council, we agreed to work jointly together. So, and me and the Ado, we have agreed, he's in the headquarters. As far as I'm here in FCT, at the AIG Zone 7, in charge of FCT, and NIDA, and operationally Kaduna and the auxiliary states, I promise to do my best to ensure the safety of FCT according to the minister's mind. It doesn't mean so to tell us.
Gifts were presented to the two celebrants.
I hereby present this gift to AI people for the excellent job they have done for the people of the FCT.
At the token, for you to remember your service to the FCT, we say thank you and God bless.
This is where we draw the curtains on this week's episode of the program. Keep a date with us next week, same time, same station. Be vigilant and report suspicious activities around you. Goodbye.